Terrifier.
Dude,
Bro, you look like
bro.
Terrifier right now, man. This guy looks like freaking Art the Clown right now.
He was terrified by his daughter, bro.
Terrified by Luna, bro.
Luna's,
Yeah, feel like it too.
Jesus.
getting it, the Halloween spooks in on Alex, man. It's all right. Well, we're
Spooky
glad you
season.
joined us, bro. I'm glad you joined us. We waited for you to do this episode here of Smile and Barbarian. I'm gonna run it down, see what people like better. If you liked it the same, if you liked it less or worse. Yeah. So here we go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the table here first. We're gonna talk about Smile. Jay, you said you hadn't seen it yet, right?
I haven't seen it. Can we
All
just
right,
do that one last?
Then shut the fuck up. No. So Harold, Jay, Alex, I want to go around the camera, and I want you guys to give us your best.
He's gone.
I want you guys to give us your best smile to the camera. Harold, we'll start with you.
My best smile. Jesus.
Smile.
I can't do it. Let me see if I can. I might have to. That's as good as I can get.
Okay. Alex, do you want to give your best smile to the camera?
That's like
What a nerd.
Jay, I know you haven't seen the movie. Yeah, there we go.
he's
That's what I was
number
waiting
one,
for.
dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was waiting
he
for it.
wins.
You win.
You
He
idiot.
always wins. Yeah. Just want to freeze his frame right there. That's actually going to be his camera.
Creepy, yeah.
That's going to be his camera while we talk about Smile. Just this.
You should literally put that as like the background for like the episode. That's
You're such
his
a
face.
freak,
Just
dude.
put his face everywhere, bro.
Ese plátano.
Ese plátano sucio. Cabrón. So we're gonna be talking about these two movies here, just kind of maybe comparing, but not really. Smile, I know that, and Barbarian are very two different movies from each other. Jay, I apologize if you haven't seen the movie, but I feel like you should be using your Regal Movie Club to watch that instead of Black Adam. So that is your
No.
fault. So that is
No.
your fucking fault.
Nope.
You messed up.
Happy
yeah,
wife,
you
happy
fucked
life,
up.
my friend. Sorry. No,
Did you
I
see
did
Black
not
Adam
have-
with her?
I chose wisely.
Did you see Black Adam with your wife?
No. She doesn't care about that movie.
So what are you saying? Happy
Until
wife,
what-
happy
yeah,
life.
what are you talking about?
Because she wants to watch Smile, and I cannot
Oh,
watch Smile without her.
God.
Bro, Smile has been
Oh.
out for a month
A
now.
month.
though.
We haven't. She hasn't. We haven't had a chance to go together.
You literally had a chance to go watch
You
Black Adam
literally
before
had.
this movie.
Shut up.
Get out of here.
Such an idiot.
Get your hierarchy off of The Rock's dick and go watch that movie.
Oh God, here we go, dude. Don't hate until you watch it, okay?
Jay and
You
Omar
can't- you can't
both
say
are
nothing.
on the Rock's dick on the.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is that you guys went into that movie and I already know why you liked it because the end credits. You just like
No,
went,
uh-uh.
got so
No.
happy with the post credit.
That's actually not at all. I mean, yeah,
that
that end credit was cool.
Crowded your
That-
fucking
No,
like
I-
judgment.
No, absolutely not. I liked it. I liked the movie. I actually liked it, but I liked it before the end credit. Freaking mook.
I mean,
Idiot.
hey,
Yeah, we'll talk about that in 40
Yeah, we'll talk about that later,
days after.
Okay,
HBO
and trust me,
Max has
you
it on.
just earned yourself a tombstone on Friday. I just wanted
actually, I'm
to-
gonna watch it 2 months later because it took you a month to watch Smile and you still haven't watched it yet. So let's see. Actually, I won't watch it until you watch Smile. How about that?
what?
Wait, is Smile available to
Black
rent on
Adam.
digital yet or no? Not yet.
No, it's only in theaters.
In
Yeah.
theaters, right?
Yeah, they said something about it might come out on Paramount Plus, but I mean, it's not. It might not come out for a while since it's
Bro,
still generating some.
Use
money.
your Regal. Just get it done.
Calm down. I'm not using my Regal. Okay, I like.
Just watch
my-
it and don't tell your wife.
Hey, stop being a
Uh,
mook.
Okay.
I think Alex did that with Batman, didn't you?
I did. Yes, I did watch Batman. I told her
We'll cut that.
later.
We'll
though,
cut that. We'll cut
afterwards.
that. Oh, you already told her. Okay.
Yeah,
Don't
she
cut that.
did.
Keep that. All right.
No, because the thing is that like sometimes like if I did not go to watch these movies like without her, like I'd be in Jay's situation where I'd be waiting a month or 2 months to watch something that I really want to watch. So I try to hold off as long as I can, but like,
Yeah.
I know
gotta
it's
do what you
difficult
gotta
for
do.
a lot of you, especially with the women in your life. It's tough to get, the date nights. Half of you got kids too, so I know it's tough to kind of get that time away. It's not as easy as it is for me, I guess, because I've got none. But
But I feel like a month is enough time. I mean, hey, you went to watch Black Adam opening weekend, so there you go.
Black Adam opening
I
weekend.
say
Gee, I can't believe it.
again,
Can't
you
believe it.
freaking
Opening weekend, bro.
jerk
It's
off.
because of you that The Rock keeps getting work and he should not. I'm gonna say that. Hot
So
take.
you guys are just rock haters. That's all. You guys are freaking rock haters. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't hate The Rock. I just think he needs to get out of his. Yeah, I hate rocks. They get in my shoes. They get in my socks. Hate stepping on them. I hate throwing them.
Hey,
when
I'm
they
the
throw 'em in my
number
face.
one Rock fan in this entire podcast, bro. The amount of time I plugged Terramana on this podcast, bro.
Oh, the tequila, yes.
Yeah.
See, he
it's
should be
tequila.
focused on tequila. The hierarchy of tequila is about to change with The Rock,
Exactly.
not DC. Fuck out of here.
Just, you know.
Well, anyways,
Anyways.
we got off track. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
we're
we
talking
did.
about.
Big time.
Smile.
Just being
So
haters.
Smile, we have Jay has not watched Smile. That's all right. You can listen to us. We won't spoil it too much for you, Jay. I will say that. But I do want to start with Alex as far as this movie is concerned, because Alex did see a lot of the previews. I'm pretty sure you guys saw previews too, or commercials, or whatever on Twitter. I know that movie, any scary movie that I was watching, whether it was like The Invitation or any horror movie at that time, they always had the trailer for Smile on there. So Smile, Alex, did not appeal to you. Is that correct? When you first saw the trailer?
Yeah, the first trailer I watched, I have to go back and like really find it, because you know how they always do like a second trailer and then a final trailer and then like teasers in between that they like do different cuts. But the first cut that I ever saw, it just looked so cheesy to me. Like the smiling thing, like that's all I would see in the trailers, and there wasn't like much of like the actual story to go by. And I think it actually helped this movie personally, because when I watched it, my whole thought process on it changed. I will admit that. But going into it, I was less than like thinking it was going to be good. The only reason I watched it was because everybody on the podcast was like, listen, this is a great movie, go watch it. So I was like, all right, I'll go check it out. And it did not disappoint, I'll say that much.
Harold, did you see any trailers, or did you just go on to it blindly? How did you find out about Smile?
No, I saw the trailer. So usually like the horror movies or anything like that. I think the only horror movie trailer that I didn't watch was Halloween Ends. What a mistake. Well, actually, not really. Because if I would have watched that and then went to go watch
Oh, you
Halloween
would
Ends,
have
I would have
way
been
more
pissed. I would have been
Yeah.
pissed.
Way more pissed. Did you finally catch the trailer?
I did. It's a complete fake out, and it pisses me off to no end. Whoever got like duped into go and watch that movie because they thought they were going to see a whole Michael Myers type of thing, they didn't at all, and it sucked. But whatever. Moving on to Smile, I did watch the trailer on a couple of the other movies that I watched. I think when I went to go watch Barbarian, Smile was on that, I believe. So yes, I did watch the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. And as a side note for Halloween, people out there, it did have the most, I guess, the biggest drop week to week as far as the box office is concerned. I think what was it, 80 or 90%? Alex, was it?
I think it was 80.
Do
I
you
think it was
remember?
80%. I think it was like 80, yeah.
So, and I will say it's probably because of word of mouth, and also because it's on Peacock. Like nobody's gonna go and watch it a second time. Whereas, well, the people that saw the first time will definitely probably not watch it a second time, and the people that haven't seen it, they're
It's a
just
shame.
like, oh, I'll just wait for it and watch it on Peacock. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but
I think it was like the opposite though, like from the original, like the last time we watched it, because when we watched it, like Halloween Kills, like I remember watching that in theaters specifically because like I liked it, and then I came home and watched it on Peacock.
was it on
But
Peacock?
yeah, it was on Peacock. Halloween Kills was they released at the same time on Peacock.
Oh wow.
Because
Yes,
I
that
remember
is correct.
rewatching it again before we recorded the episode, like to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But I still went out and told people to go watch it. So I think that this was like the adverse effect of where we're like, don't watch this movie, and
Yeah, I've
clearly
rewatched
people are
Halloween
not.
Kills like
Yeah.
3 or 4 times, but this one, Halloween Ends, I don't think I'm gonna rewatch it. Like, if not for a very long time, if ever.
It's such a
Yeah.
disappointing movie, unfortunately, and it's like the it's And it's unfortunate it's the last movie, you know what I mean, in the trilogy. But that's what they decided to do, and whatever, it is what it is at
I
this
think
point.
it's funny that we like have been doing all these like really bad Halloween horror movies, and we did a review on this, not thinking that it was going to actually be a really bad movie. So it ended up just fitting into that entire line of
Mm,
It was
our
just bad,
October
but
reviews. Yeah,
not a fun bad that we usually do.
yeah,
But
exactly.
what was not a disappointing movie, I will say, is Smile. So
Smile.
Smile just came out not too long ago. I saw the trailer a couple times, and
Yeah.
I did know that. Like I went into it, I was thinking, kind of like Alex, it might be a little corny, a little cheesy, just the premise of it.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure how I was gonna like it.
Yeah.
And then leading up to it, about a week and a half, or maybe 2 weeks before the movie actually went into theater, they were doing some marketing,
Mhm.
different baseball games on TV. Like they would show videos of people just
Just
smiling,
smiling and
just sitting
staring
there smiling and staring. Yeah, I'll probably
in the
put a couple
most
clips up
creepiest
here
way.
in the most creepy way. And I think it got a lot of people talking. Like, marketing for the film was really well done. But then getting into the movie, um, I'm gonna say, like, it's definitely one of my top of the year as far as like horror movies are concerned. I have to go back and kind of see what else came out this year. I know like Scream came out earlier this year and a couple other horror movies
Right.
in that way. Terrifier 2, I'll let you guys decide that on Friday. But Smile for sure was one of those that surprised me, I would say.
Mhm.
It's not much of a it's not a complicated story. It's not that like mind blowing as far as like something that's like super different in a way. But the way that it was executed, the way it was shot, a lot of the shots on this were beautiful. They did a lot of the upside down shots, the way they
Yeah.
transitioned into a
Yep,
lot of
yep,
different
yep, yep.
shots,
Making you feel
using the
uncomfortable.
props. Yeah, it was
Those
very uncomfortable. One thing that Alex brought up was also when we were driving home was the music on it.
Mhm.
The music and the
Yeah.
ambiance that it gave up
Is
was
crazy.
phenomenal,
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I agree.
So it's not, and it did have a few jump scares on it. Surprisingly, that actually made you jump, and I think it also had to do with the sound design. When
Yeah.
you're watching this movie, they use a lot of this just complete silence when you're watching it. I remember the one part where she's listening to something on the computer, and she's like trying to hear it go, and then the she does the volume thing a
Yeah.
little bit, like up and
Yeah.
up and up, and then they use that to really do like a jump scare on that.
Mhm.
Probably one of the biggest ones that are in the movie. Um, so overall, I think it was, I mean, really well done, really
Mhm.
well shot, really well. The sound design for me was probably one of the best things about it, and just a lot of the camera work that they did, a lot of the close ups, um, were I mean, I can't really praise this movie more than I already have.
Mm.
Alex, what did you think as a audio engineer, graduate? What do you think about the audio that was done, and what did you have as far? I know you told me that somebody from another show or movie did the composing or did the sound or music for it. Can you go into a little bit of detail with that, please?
So I will say, like, for me, like when I go to movies, I specifically go out of my way to try to watch everything in Dolby as much as I possibly can, or at least some type of better audio area. Which I think AMC has really good sound
They really do.
as a
Yeah,
whole, like in any of their theaters, like the ones that I've sat into, even like the dine-in ones, things like that. But I wish that I would have seen this one. I don't know if they actually did it in Dolby or if I just caught
they
it.
did because I saw it in Dolby when it first came out. Yeah,
So maybe I just caught it like because I caught it a few weeks after it had already had its run, and I think there's just been so much stuff coming in and out of theaters at the same time. Um, so I didn't get to see this one in Dolby, but I will say, like you mentioned, like the sound. That's one thing that really stuck out to me was like just like the emptiness of sound was very strange to me because in most movies or TV shows, if you watch things, a lot of times there's still like a bed of music or like background noise that's being played while something's happening. So for there to be like complete absence of sound in certain points of this really led to the horror element because then you were just like sucked in, and there was moments like when you feel like it's getting maybe like not necessarily slow, but the pacing is just like it allows you to feel like it brings down your like inhibitions, right? Like you're, you know how normally you watch a horror movie and you're like freaked out and tense the entire time. This movie does a good job of letting you like relax a little bit in certain moments, and then they'll do some type of horror element that just really catches you, whether it was a sound or something like that. And the composer that actually worked on this was the same guy that worked on The White Lotus, the show that I was talking about on HBO. So when I was actually sitting and listening to the music and hearing like the weird like sounds, because it's not just like the actual score of the movie that's freaky, but it's just certain like sound cues and things that are like tension, you know, tension cues. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
That I kind of heard, yeah, like something like that, exactly. Um, so that, like, I
God,
noticed when I was
yeah,
listening
my
to it, I was
heart
like,
almost dropped. You dick.
this guy, I was like, man, it sounds so familiar, you know, that I had heard it. So when we left the theater, I went and looked it up, and I'm trying to look up his name right now from the guy that actually worked on it, but I know like he's a really well known composer. He's doing all this stuff for White Lotus season 2 as well, which comes out Sunday. Not trying to plug it or anything, but I'm just saying in general. But yeah, I thought the soundtrack was really good, and yeah, I was like pleasantly shocked at how much I like this movie. Like, there's just so many good things about it. The only thing I guess I would gripe about is I'm not gonna give away too much spoiler because Jay's obviously hasn't seen it yet, but the end part when
Yeah,
there's like a bit of a reveal of the actual
whatever it is.
the being or the thing that's been sort of consuming these people all along, it kind of felt a little I guess like not underwhelming to me, but it just looked a little bit cheesy because
Yeah.
there's a little bit too much CGI for me.
Hmm.
Um but overall, like, it didn't take away from the movie. Like, I thought everyone that was in it did a really great job as far as acting. The writing was really well done and pacing. And just in general, like, I thought it was a really good, like, if you're looking for a traditional like horror movie, this is one that I would recommend that you go out and see, because Barbarian is a little different, which I'm sure we'll get into that.
Because I
But
just rewatched
Smile,
Barbarian and I was comparing it to Smile, and I was like, yeah, Smile is more traditional of a horror movie in general. I would
exactly.
say, yeah, it feels more of a like a
It really
Halloween movie you see
stays
them.
with
Yeah,
that formula of like a traditional horror type movie, which is there's nothing wrong with that
no,
because I
no,
don't feel
if it's
like
done
we've
right.
gotten a good one in a while. Exactly. So I you know, appreciated what they did, and it was still like unique and different, um, in its own ways. You know, like not giving away too much, but the storyline goes into other issues that are not just about this creature being, but it goes into other
Yeah,
social
like
issues
trauma and things like
and
that too.
trauma and
That
things,
yeah.
which I thought was pretty unique. So
So two things I would say, Alex, would be the acting on there. One of the actors is one of our boys from The Boys. What's it called? Is he A Train or right? He's the black
A
guy. I forgot
Train,
his name.
yeah.
A Train, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, he's great in this movie. Also an asshole in this movie too. So he plays that role very well, even though I didn't think he would be. But he did really well in this movie too. And then the second thing I would probably say, Harold, kind of like going into that, was the reveal of the final creature at the end. When Alex was actually talking about it, it reminded me of Harold, and he was talking about Nope and how he got the freaking blanket that showed up at the end. Did
Yeah.
you feel like it was almost that way, Harold, or would you rank it a little bit higher on
For this
your
particular
cheesy movie? Yeah,
for this particular movie, so there's not I can't really add much more than what you guys have already said. I like the movie. I think again, Alex is spot on with the effects. That there's a specific like sound if and when you watch this that it'll stand out to you because it just makes you uneasy like in
yeah,
the
it puts you on
scene. And I
edge.
think,
Yeah,
yeah, it puts you on edge, and I think it's exactly what it's meant to do. You know what I mean? It does exactly what it meant to do. The camera angles too, I noticed that they were doing a lot of like upside down things that would put you in an awkward position. I remember seeing it. I'm like, damn, they keep on doing this thing, and it does put me off of kilter because you're not, you're like, okay, this is not the right way we're supposed to be
The
seeing this. You know what
perspective,
I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. So
Mm.
It was
it
almost
did
like
definitely
Shining,
work.
like weirdly like The Shining. You know how they had like these weird like camera angles and the
Hmm.
way they shot things so far away. Like I felt
Yep.
that same sort of vibe.
Yeah, and there's like a specific shot that I think stood out to me is when she's in the car, so they're following her like a drone shot from the bottom, and you see it, and then they keep on going, and as it passes, then all of a sudden now you're watching it the scene upside down as she's going away, and I think it was really effective, and I was like, okay, this is we're not in the right like it's a weird situation, weird time or something like that. You know what I
No,
mean?
they definitely use it as far as like to address like storylines. Like they use a lot of the camera angles and sound to progress a story and tell you like, hey, something is afoot here, something is not right. And as a viewer, you also have to feel that something is not right. So I think they use a lot of those camera angles, like you said, Harold,
Yeah.
to make you feel that way, to make you feel the uneasiness, or make you feel like, oh, that's not right. Like, why is this shot like this? Why am I looking at this upside down? So it's actually kind of foreboding or foretelling what's gonna, maybe the next shot's gonna happen or whatnot.
Yeah. But as far as the movie, I like it. I enjoy it a lot. The end part of it is, I think, where it kind of throws you off of the movie a little bit, just because it is like Alex said, it's just a little bit weird and maybe a bit cheesy, and it's yeah, it just doesn't land very well. You know what I
Well, I
mean? Like,
think so. If they, I feel like if they ended the movie where initially people thought it was gonna end, I think it would have left a bad taste in the mouth. To be honest,
Oh,
when they're in the
100%.
cabin,
Yeah.
and then she escapes the cabin, and then she's talking to the cop guy. But then it just continues on, and then there's that twist of like, oh shit, she's not out of the woods yet. She's
right,
like
right,
literally
right, right,
still in the cabin. And I
right.
think that twist that happens, I think that then saves and redeems the rest of that movie. Like it saves that ending, because a traditional modern day horror movie, I feel, would have just ended it lazily like that. Like, okay, cool. Like now she's safe. It's a happy ending, blah blah blah. But the
Mhm.
fact that it didn't, and then flipped that, which is the same way that they use the camera angles and the sound and stuff like that, they flip that on its side and tell you like, it's not done yet. We're still going on that. The effect
Mm.
might be cheesy as far as like the main evil thing,
Reveal, yeah.
but the lasting effect that it has on you, even the lasting, like, kind of reminds me of Pennywise, where the mouth opens and basically you have that like lasting image. Like that's one of the
Mhm.
lasting images that I remember of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's at the end, and I feel like that whole thing just feels right that they like ended it in such a great way. Not that
Yeah,
it was that
that
traditional,
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ending is that ending. I know what you mean now, and I guess I maybe described it incorrectly, but the showing of
Of
the
the thing, yeah.
thing of the thing is where it kind of loses a little bit, but the ending is well done. So I would agree with that. Yeah, the ending is well done. Um, yeah, I mean,
And I do want to
my
talk about that when we get to Barbarian as well, and compare
yeah.
the two there. So
So
once we get Jay back in here, we'll talk about that.
I went to go watch it with my girlfriend, and she's not a horror. Uh, she doesn't like scary movies at all. But because I feel like I enjoy watching it with other people, I wouldn't watch it by myself just because there's no joy in it for me. I guess I like to see or to have someone with me so we can kind of discuss or whatever. You know what I mean? And she actually enjoyed that movie. Again, she's not a horror fan, so for her, it's like she's just going to because I want her to go, but not because she wants to. And when it's like something that's super cheesy, it's no longer scary to her, and it's just like if she's not scared, then it's like it's not if it's cheesy, it she doesn't care about it, and she'll be like, "That was a bad movie." It's not even scary. You know what I mean? But in Smile, she loved the movie all the way. She's like, "That was a really good movie," until that last scene of the reveal, and that's where it kind of lost her a little bit. But overall, she enjoyed the movie. So yeah.
I think honestly, if they had ended it like Michael was saying at that traditional point of it just being that reveal and that was it, my score honestly probably would have been a lot lower on this. But then when I kept watching it and they did the little twist on you, then you're like, oh shit, that's crazy. And honestly, like it was weird because I felt like the use of CGI maybe wasn't necessary because they did a good job of like a lot of practical effects in that
throughout the
end scene,
movie, and I
like, and
think
even
throughout the
throughout
movie
the
too.
movie,
Yeah,
yeah, in general. So I just felt like it was kind of like misplaced. Like it felt like when I saw the effect, honestly, it almost felt like it was like a straight to Peacock movie, like quality of CGI, and then the rest of the movie was like an actual big production. So it was kind of weirdly placed, but it didn't take. I guess it took maybe a little bit away from me. Like if I look at my score now, it probably maybe took down a notch, but not as much to where I would say don't watch this movie.
and I think also if you give it a second watch, because that's what I did. I literally saw it when it first came out, and then I saw it again last week with Alex. And watching it again, because I had that same criticism of it the first time I saw it. I was like, yeah, the reveal of the monster is kind of like cheesy. When I did see it again, then actually really focused on it, because the second time you watch it, it's like, all right, let me see how bad this really is.
Mm.
Second time, it didn't seem as bad. It had more of a demonic feel to it, on the face and stuff like that, and there were still some human elements to it that maybe didn't make it as cheesy for me the second time around. But I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, it kind of threw me off. I'll admit that. So you guys
I don't
are
know
right
if
in
it
that.
was necessarily the creature, but it was something that like with I don't want to spoil it, but it's like something that happens to it that seems like an effect. Like you know how normally in you watch a movie or TV show, like sometimes fire doesn't come off correctly or
Mhm.
water, like special effects of like realistic things. That was
Sure.
kind of what took away from me
Mm.
Yeah.
because it was like a mixture of both that then felt
Yeah, that's
a
true. That's
little.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily the
The
creature because
balance.
I
It
was
didn't
like,
balance
it's
itself
just
that too
yeah.
much. Yeah. I will say as well though that in general, if you like a movie that's like really well shot, it kind of reminded me of very artsy film. Like it had a lot of like independent film vibes as far as like the way that it was shot and the music and the ambiance, and like Harold said, like the upside down camera angles and things like that. It felt very like, oh, it should have been like an art house film at times. So it was again really well shot, but they used so many of those shots to make this like what could have been just a boring, really just modern day horror movie. It made it really interesting. Um, and I really like highly suggest you go watch it. Definitely one of the best horror movies of this year.
What scores do you guys give it?
Man, I'm gonna give it definitely a good like 8.5 smiles out of 10. So I don't know what you guys give it. Harold, what would you say?
I would say an 8. Yeah, I would say an 8.
Good 8. Yeah.
Yeah, a good 8.
Alex, how many smiles do you give it?
Mine was a eight and a half actually. It was exactly your rating. So and the composer, by the way, his name is Cristobal Tapia de Ver. That's his actual name.
All right, Cristobal Tapioca. Thank you for a great
Yes.
soundtrack that you made.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
But this was a great film too for the director because like I looked up his credits and he has no other big movies that he's done. Like this is like his first
Which is
major
really good
movie.
because he's probably going to get
So
some more work after this, to be
oh
honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. So speaking of great directors and great sound and great horror movies as well, today, or was it yesterday that it came out on HBO Max? Was it yesterday? Or even like a couple days ago?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, right? For those of you who don't know, another horror movie that just came out called Barbarian came out around the same time that Smile did, maybe a little bit earlier, I would say, maybe a couple weeks beforehand. It is now streaming on HBO Max, which is great for you because you haven't seen it. It's no longer, I don't think it's in theaters anymore. So I think you can only either get it digitally or watch it on HBO Max. And I would suggest go watching this as well if you want to get your horror fix on and want to clean out your mouth from Halloween Ends, this is the way to do it at this time right now. Jay, thank you for rejoining us. Your smile face is no longer up here, and we're happy to see your plátano instead. But we're going to be talking about Barbarian real quick here. Barbarian stars Justin Long and a couple of other characters you may or may not know. But it also has my boy, Mr. What's his name? Skarsgård, Mr. Pennywise himself.
Bill
Uh,
Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård, love him. Anything that he's in, I will watch with bated breath because he made that much of an effect on me. So he is one of the first people you see in this movie, Barbarian. And Barbarian has a very interesting layout to it. Definitely starts off as a traditional, I would say, horror movie on that. And then about 35 to 40 minutes into it, it switches to another perspective from Justin Long's perspective as an actor
Mm-hmm.
who was accused of some very heinous things, rape and stuff like that. And the way he's connected to the house that these people are in, because basically it starts off, these two people have an Airbnb, they booked it the same night. Shit goes sideways. They decide to go ahead, and you have this like suspicion that maybe Bill Skarsgård is like has something to do with it. Like the entire time, like, yeah, he's kind of shady. I don't know if you should trust this guy.
Yeah.
You find out that you should trust him and listen to everything that he says, even though he is underground where Pennywise usually is. I wouldn't trust Bill Skarsgård underground ever in my life. But you should trust him in this moment, I would say. And then it switches over to Justin Long. Justin Long is driving and he finds some bad news that as an actor, someone accused him of rape and some sexual misconduct. So he's now pressed for money, and one of his properties that he owns that they're telling him to liquidate is actually the house that we first saw earlier in the movie in Detroit. So he goes to Detroit to actually liquidate or liquefy his liquidate, whatever you want to call it. Basically sell his house so he can get this extra money so he's not poor for 3 months. And basically what happened.
He's trying to liquefy something.
Liquidate. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just gonna sell the fucking house.
Liquefy his ass. That's what
yeah, liquefy his ass. And he goes to this house and finds, luggage still there, and he's like, "What the fuck? Or do I have squatters? Do I have people? Are people still living here?" He has a hilarious scene where he's just fucking. He searches online. One of my favorite scenes. Do underground rooms count as square footage?
Yeah.
And then he goes through and finds all these underground rooms and starts fucking measuring them. And then he finds more rooms. He's like, "Oh shit!" And you think he's actually scared, but he's like really happy that he found more. That he finds more square footage. He sees like cages, like dog cages. He's like, "Yo, whatever the fuck?" And then he keeps on measuring.
Just
like
bypasses him. I'm like,
I'm dying. Like I'm literally dying in the movie theater watching this. So he has a lot of good scenes. He's Justin Long being Justin Long on that.
It's great.
Then you get revealed that there's something uneasy going on in these underground rooms, and there's this giant monster lady person with big breasts that likes to feed adults breast milk. Breast milk, you make my day. So she's feeding all these people breast milk. One of the girls escapes and she's trying to get help, and he's like, "Oh my god, we gotta help save Justin Long on there." Then it flashes back to basically like an origin story of how people got into the house and who these people are, and maybe possibly who the bad guy is, which I love the way that was shot too. Just through the grocery store, then him following the girl to the house, and it was a really cool, like, basically you have like 3 different stories that are happening kind of at the same time that they reveal to you, which I really enjoyed. Then at the end of it, you have just chaos erupting and people dying and Justin Long being an asshole. But overall, Barbarian was one movie. I remember I didn't even see a trailer for it. I think I was waiting to see Marcel the Shell in theaters, like at Disney Springs, and I saw a poster that said Barbarian. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Like I haven't seen a trailer, nothing for it. Pulled it up on my phone, saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, this looks very interesting. Well, let's fucking do this. So I went to go see it and fucking loved it. And how did you guys enjoy this movie? Jay, I don't want to hear about how disappointed you are or how you didn't appreciate some shit again, because it doesn't seem like you appreciate anything. You should turn into Scott Stapp and just I want to help you to appreciate those nights and those dreams, like he says. So, Jay, what did you appreciate and not appreciate about Barbarian? When did you see it? Did you just see it yesterday, today? When?
Last night.
Last night. When you were sleeping, the same way you saw Terrifier, or what?
The same way I saw Terrifier.
All right, you're a fucking idiot. Cool. So, what did you think about Barbarian, man?
Do you really want me to not say that I didn't appreciate something?
What didn't you appreciate?
Oh, so I can talk about it.
Yeah, talk about what you didn't appreciate. Yeah,
I'm allowed. Okay, thank you.
I don't appreciate you falling asleep on the podcast. First of all, so let's get that out of the way, because next time I see you on Friday, you're gonna get an RKO through a table at AMC. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to tell you right now. So secondly, go ahead and wake your ass up and tell me your Dominican Platano ass what you thought about Barbarian, sir.
Your goddamn candy ass.
I'll give a fucking rock bottom through a table like Black Adam, bro. I swear to God.
Like to videotape this. Whoever,
Dwayne.
Harold, on Friday, bring out your phone, because I want
bring
you to
out your phone, and I want you to videotape.
I want you to
my
videotape
Jeep.
who gets.
I want you to videotape my Jeep, my black Jeep. I have a black Jeep, and I'm gonna put Black Adam spray painted on the hood of it, and then I'm gonna rock bottom his candy ass through the hood of my Jeep, and then record that for Dwayne Johnson.
I want you to
put that on Twitter and all that shit. Yeah,
I want
please
that
record
recorded.
that. And I want that on the podcast next episode.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
I want that recorded. Okay,
yeah.
Back to it.
Can I get a
Barbarian?
hell yeah?
Oh, hell yeah.
So Barbarian. I appreciated.
Didn't appreciate it. Oh, you appreciated it. Okay.
I appreciated everything about the movie. Oh my God, Michael. The movie was great. I liked it a lot, actually. I thought it was very well done. I thought the flow of the movie was.
You don't sound like you like it, bro. Can you be a little more enthusiastic about it? Shit.
I appreciate the way it was done.
Listen, you talked about Black Adam, like you had a hard on, bro. Like, at least if you like this movie, get a little more excited.
I'm tired. Leave me alone.
Can you? I like the way it was done. I appreciate the cinematography.
Jason.
Can I continue?
So long.
Yeah, continue. Yeah.
Jesus. No.
Con gana,
I enjoyed the movie so much. It's just amazing. I thought the flow of the movie was really good. I liked how they went back and forth with how, like, you saw where the, what do you call it? Like, where the freaking, like, how these people, like, how that monster came up.
Jay, I swear to God. I'm good.
I'm trying to wake up.
I'm fucking rock bottom your ass right now. I want Alex to go through all these clips, and anytime we do a review, I want him to take out the same shit that you say. I really like how it flowed. I like the way it was shot. I like the way
I'm just gonna make a montage of him falling asleep through every podcast.
And not only that,
every podcast is just this one.
I really like the way
you caught the bride's bouquet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
The Quiet Storm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So something that I thought was really freaky about the movie was like the whole claustrophobia type shots where everything was enclosed in the tunnels, and then everything was really far away with that freakishly disgusting monster like coming at you, and the lighting, how it was like all in front of you, but then it would shut off and then it would come back, and you'd see, like, 1 second you see it, 1 second you don't, the next second you see it, it's like closer, then you don't. Like, that was absolutely petrifying. Like, I watched the movie on my phone, and
God, really?
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, I had to watch it. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm actually gonna watch it again on my big screen when I get home, because I want to actually watch it in surround sound.
Surround sound and all that.
Yeah, but
I do like to put on your point as well. I remember the scene where Justin Long shows up first underground, and he's after he's done doing his like comedy bit with like measuring everything,
Yeah.
he has his phone light and he's like pointing, I think,
Bro.
with something, and just the way that
Dude.
the camera was looking at
Yes.
it was a good
Yes.
shot. I'll admit that. Yeah.
Yes. Those shots were really, really
And the close-up shot of like the titties
petrifying.
when he's like about to fucking...
Oh God, don't even talk to me about that. But yeah. Dude.
Puppy. Now I will get into something Jay territory here. Jay, what'd you think about the death scenes in this fucking thing, bro? Especially the one,
the first one I thought was kind of stupid, in my personal opinion.
oh,
Like
where
the one
he was
he,
smashed,
where he's
his
smashing
head,
the
yeah.
guy's head. It was very quick. Like it just came out of nowhere, and it was very close. Like you didn't see. I would have liked a little bit more gore. Like everything was just so.
But you were talking about the lighting on that, and I think the lighting played a
No.
really good fact on that. Like anytime the impact was happening, the light would turn on and off like that. Yeah, I liked it.
I didn't like that. I didn't care much for the head bashing. What petrified me.
Did you like that in Halloween though?
Yeah.
When Michael Myers does it?
Like with the guy with his teeth and freaking thing. Yeah, I mean that one was
so you like that?
It was gory because that one that particular one
bitch.
Shut up and listen. That particular one you saw the end result. The gore. This one it's like okay, yeah, the shock factor of the thing coming out and then getting his head beat like 50 and then it cut away. It's like all you saw was his head getting beat, a little bit of blood, and then the thing screaming.
Yeah.
Yes, it was absolutely petrifying because that's the first time you see it. Like it comes running and then, you see it.
Now, what about the one where she finally escapes? The girl finally escapes with the black guy, the homeless guy, or whoever's like living on the streets.
Yo,
and then they go back to get Justin Long, and then they're hanging out, and then they're like, "Why does she not come after you?" And he's like,
"Man, that thing never come in here." Boom!
And then fucking Hulk smash,
and then it beat him with
his own arm. With his own arm.
Yes.
That was fucking crazy.
The one part I did not like too much
that you didn't appreciate. Yeah,
that I did not appreciate was when what's this guy Justin Long?
Mm-hmm.
When he threw the girl off the roof, he says, "Go get your baby." Fuck. And then
go get your baby.
The thing goes and like runs and dives off the freaking thing. Now, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like it's flying off the thing, going.
No, baby.
No, my baby. I mean, come on. That was super unrealistic. The fact that it jumped off.
I think the problem was that the way that it was shot, like it just seemed like the slow motion thing of her falling, and then the slow motion of the monster falling.
She was like halfway down already, but before he or she, whatever,
the monster,
the monster jumped.
The monster turned into Spider-Man. That's a Spider-Man
dive,
right
exactly.
There.
I mean, the monster's heavier though, so it would fall
Yeah,
faster.
that's true.
Shut up. Shut the hell up.
Totally realistic. Totally realistic.
The breast. Like he jumps off and the breasts go.
I love how that's the one thing that you're worried about being realistic in this fucking movie. When you look at the monster, you're like, that's not realistic.
That was so stupid.
I don't appreciate that.
That was so stupid. But whatever. So
I don't appreciate the
Mommy cradles the fall.
Yes.
And she survives.
And then Justin Long
freaking
comes to get the girl.
yo, so you saw what I did there, right?
Yeah, like I
mean,
I was saving you. I'm sorry.
I was saving you.
saving you.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
And then mom comes back and then fucking grabs Justin Long by the neck, and then does a Halloween Season of the Witch kill with the guy in the bed with the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Gouges the eyeballs, and then not only gouges the eyeballs, then
Tears
basically
the head
opens up
clean in
the
half.
head completely in half.
Yeah.
Like Terrifier style. So that was fucking intense. In general,
It was a unique movie though, man. The story, the actual story is super unique. I've never heard anything like that before in my life, and the whole story behind how the monster came about is just disgusting. You know, it's like a bunch of inbreeding.
Yeah, inbreeding. That's it.
Yeah.
So
when you make a copy of a copy of a copy
of a copy of a copy, that's what you get.
That's what you get. That's just what you get. You get
That's what you get.
That's what you get. You get
Ruth. Chunk left. Chunk.
And I love how it's just how the thing is going like this to the girl's just going bruh, bruh, and then she's just like, I'm not going back. Gun to the freaking temple. Bruh, 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 bruh. Done.
And then roll credits. Great.
Yeah.
Actually, and then the ending actually had the "Be My Baby" sound or the song. I loved it. I actually loved that. It had really good soundtrack choices on this. Similar to, there was another movie I saw that was kind of the same way, but anyways, Harold, what do you think about Barbarian? And you can actually, if you want to, I have a question about comparing this monster in Barbarian to the monster in Smile, because they're very similar in a way.
Kind of.
Did you find one more realistic or one more terrifying than the other, or what are your thoughts on that one?
This one was the one in Barbarian wasn't great for
The one
me.
in Barbarian.
Baby Ruth wasn't great. The one I think in Smile I appreciated more. Like, I'm using words that Jay would use, but I appreciated that monster more. This movie was just weird that I didn't like it so much because a lot of the scenarios that they chose you would never do. Like, what takes me out of the movie is when something is too unbelievable. For instance, I mean, I know you gotta just take it for what it is. It's a movie. But for instance, the beginning of this movie, that would have never happened unless you're like a woman who is going to a house and it's already rented. That she would never be like, okay, yeah, I'll go in. I don't know you, but I'm gonna go ahead and spend the night.
Oh, you're talking about when the Airbnb thing, yeah.
Don't ever say that would never happen, because there's some idiots out there that actually.
Yeah,
will.
I wouldn't say it wouldn't happen.
That's not super unrealistic.
And if you have Bill Skarsgård opening the door, he's a fucking poppy. Like, if
he's
she's
a papi chulo.
If she's a little slut and like, oh, I could get it in with
But
this
she
white boy,
also, the thing is that she doesn't go in like willing to stay. It's more like he's just saying like, don't stay outside, just come in and use the phone so you're not outside in your car. And she hasn't seen this area during the day, which is what he alludes to. Like, have you not seen the area?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a good area to be outside type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but you know that what he was doing and how he was acting made all of us suspicious about this guy's
and they did that perfectly.
And they also talk about it, though.
Yeah,
they make a joke about it because they're like, if it was me on the other end, like, I wouldn't have let you in. Like, the girl says that to him.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, but that's my point.
They did that perfectly.
Now let's say we can go. We can look past that. Let's say I look past that. If I'm the girl and I go downstairs and I'm looking around and I pull a lever and then a secret door opens to a dark tunnel, I'm not going in the dark tunnel,
brother.
And let's say,
but how many scary movies have you seen?
Yeah, but didn't she say But didn't she say nope? Like she's like nope, and then she like
Yeah,
walks
she
upstairs.
did. She did in the yes.
She said nope,
Yeah.
and then she goes in. Okay, I'm gonna give you
No, she
that
walked
one
upstairs
now.
first. I thought no.
I'll give you. I don't know. I don't remember.
No,
man, 'cause
she
it's been a
goes
while.
up because she tells Bill Skarsgård about it.
Oh yes.
And then he is the one that then is like super like, oh yeah, I'll go down here like nothing because
Yeah.
he's a white man in America, so he can do whatever he wants.
Well, no,
He's not worried
but
about
initially,
it.
but
I'm just
initially,
saying that's what it felt like. He's
initially she pulls the lever and she goes into it because she sees the room. So she goes into the cave. She goes into that dark hallway where you can't see anything, and then she finds a room with a bed and a bucket and I think some like blood smeared or whatever, and she's still cool. Like I would have, first of all, me myself, I would have never gone in there. If I just would have been gone out.
yeah, but she
door,
was
out.
she was
everything.
trapped though. Like she had no other way out. Like the door
She had her
upstairs
car.
is locked.
Oh
No,
well,
it's the door is locked. So there's no way for her to get out.
yeah, but she had the window. I mean, I'm sorry, but my life, the window. I'm going for the
She
window.
tried to go
Sorry.
through the window too, though. If I remember it, I'm just saying. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of that as a writer or the person that made this movie. I feel like they try to do all the things they could do to make you believe. Okay, she went in there because there was no other way out. Basically, I'm trying to explore my options and see if there's another way.
I just don't see
That's
it.
how I took it.
Bro, it's not a movie if it doesn't happen. Yeah,
I
Harold.
understand.
If
I
that doesn't
understand
happen, you don't have no
But
movie.
you should,
Suspend your
as somebody
imagination,
who's
bitch.
creating the movie, then you should have created a different type of situation that makes it realistic. No, Jay, you wouldn't go down the tunnel. You go into the thing, you see a room with blood and a bed, and then you see another tunnel, and you want to go downstairs.
How else?
You wouldn't do that.
Okay,
you wouldn't do that, Jay.
My question to you is, how would you then paint a picture?
I don't
for
think
us
she
to know
goes.
how
I don't
you
think
would
she
make
goes
sense?
all the way down though. I think she goes
she's
into the
petrified
room.
already.
Jay, I'm
She
not.
goes
I'm not
into
the
the room
director.
with the camera.
I'm not the one who wrote the movie, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But for me, it was
No, I'm saying for
not
you.
believable.
Like for you, how would you feel comfortable going down there then?
I wouldn't. I would have never done that.
So
Never.
the movie
Like if
ends.
there's no
So there's no
light.
movie.
Ends in 20 minutes.
The movie ends. The
For
movie,
me,
there's no
for
movie.
me, if that's real life, yeah, that's it. It's gone. It's done.
And
We're gone.
And
Yeah.
scene.
I'm sorry. Like I'm not a director. I didn't make the movie and I didn't create the thing. I just
so there's no it's
yeah. There's this. Obviously, for me, the movie wasn't great. It was too out there to believe that somebody would actually do those things. Jason Long going in there and just measuring
Was
everything.
hilarious.
that was hilarious, dude.
That was
Hilarious, but unrealistic.
Why would that be unrealistic?
Bro? Really? You're
Bro,
telling me you're gonna go down there
he
and
doesn't
start in the middle
Okay.
of the night with nothing on there? And you're
Here we
just
go,
gonna
Harold.
measure?
Let me cut you down in two terms here. So first off, when she goes down to see that bucket room and stuff like that, she doesn't go into the second tunnel until she can't find Bill Skarsgård, and then she hears like Bill Skarsgård like yelling or whimpering and stuff like that.
Exactly.
As maybe a citizen, and since she's stuck down there and my phone maybe doesn't work, then or my phone isn't even there, I would continue to go.
You
down
would go
and see. Yeah, I would go. Like, oh, where's this guy at? Like that fucking.
I'm
sucks.
gonna go. I'm
Because
gonna
then
say
what if?
no on
Because
that.
I'm a black woman in America and there's a missing white man. If the cops come here and see
I'm
this
sorry,
dead white guy
that's a
here,
negative.
I need to go. I need to go.
Negative on that.
That's
Ghost
negative,
Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Jay, what are you talking about? You were just fucking giving Harold shit about.
No.
going down
I'm
the
saying.
tunnel.
What I'm saying is that if it were me, I'm not going down there. I'm not going down there. There's no movie if it were me. But
So you're on Harold's.
So why
team.
would you?
No.
So why are you fighting with
No.
Harold?
I'm fighting with Harold because it's not about realistic. It's part of the movie. It's what had to happen.
But what I'm explaining is the movie to me doesn't make sense, and that's why I don't appreciate it or don't like it as much as I like Smile. Smile to me is a better movie. This one was it took me out of the movie because of the unrealistic scenes or unrealistic scenario that's happening in the movie.
But a lot of this movie is focusing on social commentary in terms of men in general and like how in a sense you're not supposed to trust everyone, or especially a guy like Justin Long. Like you look at him as a character and he's just like a complete dirtbag. but he also just has no sense of like his own his own care. Like he's just all about himself anyway. So that's the whole point.
Very
Is that's why he goes down
very
there.
self-serving.
He's
That's
self-centered,
perfectly
and
fine. That's the social commentary, but the movie is supposed to be a scary movie. And that's where
Well,
it falls
so is
flat
Get
on its
Out,
face
and so
for
is
me.
Us.
Yeah.
but that's why
Again.
I go back to when Jay wasn't here, reeling him into it now. In a sense of this movie, it's a different type of movie than a Smile, which is very traditional type horror.
Yeah,
Like this is a
definitely.
different twist on it. So I get what you're saying, Harold, but I think that's where the line might be teetering, and like some people may like that element of it, some people may not. It may not be for catered to everyone, but I think
No, and I completely
that
agree with that. I'm just saying.
I enjoyed it because it was unique and different, but it doesn't
Mhm.
mean that necessarily it translated to you in that way. So
Yeah, of
that's
course.
everyone has an opinion.
Everybody has their own opinion. My opinion is, for me, I was out of the movie. I was checked out of the movie kind of early on because of those scenarios that for me are
I was
too
just trying to make
unbelievable.
sense of like what you're saying that you didn't get. Like, so when the girl goes in, I think that's a believable thing that could happen. It's not unheard of that somebody books an Airbnb through different people and somebody ends up in the wrong place or the same place the same
You're
day. That
thinking of it.
happens.
You're thinking of it as what would I do? And since you're
Yeah,
like, no, I would
that's
never do
exactly
that, so this
that's
doesn't make any sense. I don't
yeah,
like it.
exactly right. I mean,
Yeah,
what
that's
happens with
that's
scary
the
movies,
problem.
you know, you put yourself in that scenario, and I think that's what's scary, right? So a lot of these slasher movies or whatever, uh, Art the Clown, Terrifier, whatever, what you would do in those scenarios. You know what I mean? That's what's scary,
If
to put
if
yourself in
if
that
I were to say
situation.
that about almost every movie, then I would hate almost
Yeah,
every,
that's true.
especially every
That is
scary
true.
movie,
Yeah.
because
I would
I
walk
would
away
not
from
do a
every
lot. Yeah, I
situation.
would
Yeah, I'd be
not do a
like,
lot
fuck
of what
this.
they're doing.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
you have to take yourself
There's a
out of
reason
that.
why there's a lot of people that go to watch scary movies. They're like, "Oh my god, don't go in there!" Like they say it out loud. That
Yeah, of
happens in
course.
almost
and it always
every movie. Like,
happens.
why are you
Yeah,
doing
Exactly.
and it
this? Why
always
are you doing
happens.
that? But at the same time, they also, I think there's so many movies that are out there, especially scary. Like Jay said, so many horror movies that people do questionable things. Even Scream, like one of the most famous
Oh god,
fucking
yeah.
movies and one of my favorites. Like,
Yeah,
hello, hello, I'm gonna check this closet over here.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah.
did I hear something? Guys, are you upstairs?
Mhm.
Hello, and like it just doesn't like
yeah.
that shit is like, oh
You're
my
like,
god, that's
why?
ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
why are
Well,
you doing this?
again,
But at the same
again,
time, it's also terrifying because it's like, okay, well, this person's in a predicament. I have to like take myself out of that
You
situation
have to
in
put
the
yourself in
movie
their
and
shoes,
put
like
yourself
in
in
a
their
way.
shoes
Exactly.
instead of the other way around.
When Justin Long went down in those tunnels doing the measurements, bro, I'm laughing. Sure, I'm laughing, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like petrified.
you're an idiot.
He's
So
gonna
I'm
get
like,
fucked up.
I'm like,
because
you're
I'm
an
like,
idiot.
bro, this thing's gonna come out. This thing's gonna come out, and then he starts doing the light down the hallway, and you see the little, bro. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
and in my
yeah.
back of my head
No.
is like, why are you in there? Why are you in there?
Of
But
course.
obviously,
Right.
that's part of the scare factor, man.
Yeah, the movie has to continue, and I understand that, but well, yeah, I guess for me, some of those things are just so beyond what somebody would actually do. Like, let's say I'll give you the girl is trying to be a good Samaritan and go help this guy. Jason Long is an idiot, and then what ends up happening is people who I feel, or like the character that I feel like, you're putting yourself in a situation, you yourself are putting yourself in that situation, you deserve to die. And then at that point, I don't really care. It's like not scary because I know you're going to die because you're an idiot.
It
You know what I
pisses
mean?
you
And
off.
so,
That's why it's pissing you
yeah,
off.
it's
That
just really kind of ridiculous.
that's why he doesn't
Like,
like, because it makes him mad that they're
I'm
doing
like,
what he
yeah. So
wouldn't
at the
do.
end of the day,
God damn.
I'm like,
But
okay, well,
that happens.
you
Like
went
Michael
into a
was
dark
saying
tunnel.
in Scream or other movies, like people do stupid shit, and you're like, man, you deserve to die, and of course they die, and it's
And they die. And they die.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
you move along and enjoy the
This
rest
one
of the movie.
just
you-
Harold. That's
felt
it. Yeah.
a little.
You
forced
watched the whole
in my-
thing though, Harold?
Of course, yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
I watched it in a movie theater.
So I mean,
The
Long died
the-
very, very badly.
I
Oh,
would
yeah.
say
he got what he
that
deserved.
I would say that I think the scarier things that I agree with you guys 100% is that silhouette, right?
Oh,
That silhouette of the this lady monster thing that's huge coming at you, or coming out of the dark, like just barely appearing, is very, very scary. Like that is the scary part.
Oh, that's how I felt
Um,
about watching a movie like if you remember The Descent.
I haven't
with the rock
seen
climbers.
that.
You have not seen The Descent? Wow.
I have not seen that.
That one is terrifying in that way too, where you have these spelunkers and people like, rock diving and stuff like
See, now
that
that
into caves.
that to me makes sense. So you're a spelunker, you're gonna go down in the caves. You know what I mean? That's what you do. But
Yeah, but there's still
for
questionable things there for sure. I would say, like,
well,
don't go
sure.
deeper into these fucking caves. But
I will give you another
you have to.
kind of thing that kind of threw me out of a movie. Right? So we talked about Terrifier. There's a particular scene in that movie where the main girl, the first girl, is trying to get away from the main character, the clown, and she sees two double doors that have a lock, a padlock, and chains around it. She goes up to those two doors and starts shaking them with all her might and making all of the noise in the world to alert this clown to come towards her and kill her.
I'll say,
I'm
but
like,
now
why
you're
would you do
getting
that?
too into this,
That's
Harold.
too-
Hold on.
yeah.
No,
Now you are
I don't
not
think so,
suspending
but-
disbelief in many of these movies.
that's
situations,
that's
bro.
suspending
sheer
disbelief
panic.
to the nth degree.
There's a freaking
That's
killer
panic.
clown. That's sheer panic.
If there's a clown coming after you, you're gonna you might make a mistake, and like, because you're just so fucking scared.
I'm gonna open any door. I'm gonna try to open any door.
Yeah,
Not only will I
exactly.
be shaking
Trying to
that
open any
door,
door is okay.
I'll be freaking
but
sharding
seeing
my pants at the same time. So.
Seeing trying to open any door is fine, but seeing it with chains around it and the
But
lock.
you, as a character there, you're not thinking about, oh my god, this thing has a chain and lock. You're not playing a video game. You're just trying to fucking escape through by any means necessary. If I see a chair, I'm gonna throw it into a window, even if it's like a ton
makes
of
more sense
windows.
to me.
Yeah,
That
but
makes
at the
more
same
sense.
time, it's a flimsy chair. I'm not gonna be thinking about, oh, is this chair really gonna break this window or not? So that's when you have to suspend your disbelief, and then secondly, you got to be like, all right, this girl's in desperation mode. She's just trying. Maybe hopefully she can like loosen the lock a little bit or something like that. Maybe it's not completely locked. Like, what if she missed
Harold,
that? What if she? So let's say that there was a chain. Let's say there was a lock and chain, right? Hold on. Let's say there was a lock and chain, right? If you as a viewer saw that the lock and chain was there, right, and then you could see like the lock maybe was not completely locked up, right? But then if she decided to go ahead and skip that, you as a viewer, you'd be like, why the fuck wouldn't you try that door, opening that door? Because there's a lock and chain on it. But if it's not locked and you as a viewer see that it's not locked, and then you're mad at her because she didn't try to open the door with the chain and lock, then that puts you like in what position then? You know what I'm saying? Like there's at some point.
Let me tell you why that particular scene was really kind of dumb. And the reason why I say that is because the scene prior to that scene, she was sneaking around and trying to be the most quiet. So because she was hiding from him, if you remember the movie.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the next scene, right after she is able to evade him, she makes all the noise. So anyways, beyond that, the movie Barbarian is just too unbelievable for me.
I just feel like
I just
feel like every movie you have to suspend some bit of imagination though for it. Like that's just
for sure.
Unless you're watching like a World War
documentary,
II, like fucking,
I mean,
like actual depiction of something that happened.
Like why the fuck are they saving Private Ryan? Like why the fuck is that happening?
Let's then I'll tell you the movie that that really worked for me and that I was like, okay, this makes sense. Smile is a perfect movie in that.
That's
sense.
what I was gonna say.
So
Smile, you definitely have to suspend a lot of imagination.
Well, at the very end of the movie, yes, of course, because at
the whole movie.
No,
people are smiling and then cutting themselves. Like, who cares?
Because it's mental. That's a mental issue. She is a psychiatrist, so for you, that's a mental health problem. That makes more sense to me. But this particular movie,
I have to get into that. I have to get into that when Jay watches it though, because I want to come back to this because I want to say something, but I don't want to fucking ruin the movie for him. So
yeah, Jay, you freaking suck.
I'm just gonna
appreciate that.
But anyways,
we'll put a pin in that.
You're not gonna. But either way, you're not gonna change this dude's mind. Okay, he's not. He's thinking about it too literally.
I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just trying to look at it like from like some of the smaller things. Like you're talking about the girl going into the Airbnb. Like if you're already checked out there, like you're not gonna like this movie at all because then it's like everything's just gonna seem like you're saying unrealistic after unrealistic.
Why is she doing this? Why is he doing that?
So you didn't like movies like Scream or anything like that, right? Like you don't like those type of movies.
Those movies I don't like. they don't scare me, first of all,
Or
and
Halloween.
they're just fun for fun's sake. They're not scary to me, so I don't consider them scary.
But do you
They're
think the
just more
same
of a
way?
thriller or something like that. But
Right.
they're just fun because it's goofy. Like the
Okay.
killer is goofy in himself. He falls, he trips, or whatever, or they have some stupid quip.
I
But
feel
for me,
Barbarian
Scream
was
is
kind of
not like
fun.
Well,
Jason
it
Long's
was.
character made that fun for me. Like I
Well, the
I
freaking
liked
monster
his.
is fun too.
The monster is kind of dumb, but jeez.
Don't bring out your nipple, dude. Do not bring out your nipple right now. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Censored, but a censor bar there.
Ew.
She's like, drink it.
But yeah, the movie was fun.
And
It's just it wasn't super scary to me. That's all.
dude, the bottle with the freaking
Oh, the
hair
hair.
on the nipple,
Ugh.
bro. Oh, and she's just like,
And it's like that old school nipple too, like the really big one. Oh, it was so gross. It was so
Yeah.
nasty. Groseria.
I honestly feel like it could probably be a problem of like how this movie is classified in a genre. Like maybe it's not necessarily a horror movie. Maybe it's more of a
it's
thriller,
horror.
but it's I guess elements of it are, yes, but for someone like Harold, maybe he doesn't see it as horror.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand why.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
the same
know if I
concept
would
as these
see it as a-
Jordan
Jordan
Peele
Peele.
Peele,
movies.
yeah.
Like, I don't think those movies are horror at
No,
all.
I wouldn't.
Like,
Well, they're not
seriously.
considered that. They're considered
I-
social thrillers.
Aren't they classified horror?
Thrillers.
No,
They
social
are.
Like,
thrillers.
No, they're
under
thriller, yeah.
Oh, is it thriller?
So, and if you go to Voodoo or whatever, it's still going to show horror, but it also
it's gonna
shows
show
like
horror.
Yeah.
it also shows I don't know. There's like stuff that's on there that's not horror. That if I go into my horror genre, it shows like horror, thrillers, and I'm like, this is literally more than
Get
more
Out is
thriller than
a
anything else.
psychological horror film. That's what they label it as. Psychological.
But Jordan Peele literally says he's like, these are my social thriller movies because they have a social element to it and a thrilling element to it, but it's not.
But
wouldn't
Hollywood
call it
labels it. But Hollywood labels it as a horror, right?
Yeah,
Like a horror,
I guess so.
horror
Because you
movies.
can't. Yeah, that's like saying all rap is rap, but you have like indie
right,
R&B.
right.
You have all this.
Right,
yeah,
right.
so it's the same.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think my favorite character is the Jason Long character because he's so ridiculous.
First of all, it's Justin Long, you son of a bitch.
Oh,
Put some respect on his name. Keep calling him Jason Long.
Justin Long. Justin Long character is my favorite. Justin. But his character is my favorite. It's just the movie kind of felt weak. That's all.
It felt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jason again. Alex, what did you think about
After that,
Barbarian and how much do you hate Harold right now?
I don't hate him. I think like everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Except
like
Harold.
I think that's kind of like what makes the podcast interesting because like I would hate for it to be like every movie that comes out we all agree like, oh yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 and we loved it. You
Yeah,
know,
we don't want
like, it
everybody to be
sounds-
like Jay on this podcast. Be like, I appreciate the way it flowed, the way that the way it came through, the cinematography, the music was good. Yeah, I just appreciate all that. What I don't appreciate is the way that they changed his character and.
wow. I hope you do not keep all that, please.
Oh, that's
Oh,
we're
it's
keeping that,
staying,
bro.
yeah.
It's staying.
That's
Harold snoring between it was great. Harold has redeemed himself just for that. There you go.
Oh, God.
Alex,
So
continue.
I won't reiterate a lot of the same things that everyone else said either. So it's not taking up a lot of time. But I think
I'm gonna time this.
honestly, when it comes down to this movie, I enjoyed how different it was compared to
Mhm.
other horror movies. I guess that it hit with me a little bit different than it hit with Harold. That's all I'm saying is like everyone's gonna have their own sort of opinion of it. But I thought it was cool as far as it having like these really creepy scenes, like Jay said, not to dive into that, but I think a lot of the camera angles, the way it was shot, the story was well done in a sense to where you kind of were wondering if a lot of characters were who they say they were. Are they actually a good person in the long term, or are they really a piece of shit in the end? Which you kind of see with like Justin Long's character and stuff like that. But I think with like even Bill Skarsgård, like when they first cut in, you think like this guy is clearly some fucking psycho crazy person as soon as you walk up, because he just has. But then you realize over time he's just a very awkward person. Like he's just very awkward spoken, and he says things that are like, you probably shouldn't have said that because it makes you look weird and super sus. But at the end of the day, he's just really awkward. Like I guess that's how they were, portraying him. But yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Like for me, I think even the reveal of the person wasn't, to me. I appreciated that it was more practical effects in this one than what I saw in Smile.
Yeah, it
like
wasn't
going back
CG.
to that,
Yeah.
it was very much more practical, which I felt was very creepy and just super like uncomfortable, like sitting there watching that movie. Especially like I was watching it with Stephanie right next to me, and I was like, this is like really awkward, like super strange right now. This guy is like, it's like a guy, or I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like it's literally a fucking barbarian. That's what it is. Like it's like someone from the Stone Age, like
What's a barbarian?
like
What's the definition of
breastfeeding.
barbarian? Jay, can you look this up?
I feel like it looks like someone from like the Stone Age. Like you would see them like a weird, like when you looked at Flintstones cartoons and all these
I
crazy
only know
people.
what
And
the nutty barbarian is, but it's
I
not a
mean,
barbarian.
no,
I
that's
just
not a
like their
barbarian.
nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure you do. Salty nuts.
Their
So a
cinnamon nuts.
barbarian,
Oh, Jay has a
The
definition.
definition,
for us.
yes.
a member of a community or tribe not belonging to one of the great civilizations.
Oh God, yeah. That describes her. Yeah.
Very, very, a very sleepy explanation. Thanks.
Related to ancient barbarians. That's the adjective.
But it was very creepy, like how they revealed the character and how it came to be that this being was around. I did like the cuts. I know Michael kind of touched on it a little bit, but diving into that deeper, like how the movie starts off one way and then it just halfway through goes to Justin Long, and then you kind of take this other journey. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like American Horror Story, where like sometimes a season like starts off with like a group of characters and then immediately they just cut and then it goes to another storyline, but then it all ties together in the end. So I really appreciated that element of it. I just thought it was really unique. Like I enjoyed it. I thought it was like horror and scary, but it also had a lot of comedy to it. Like especially with Justin Long's character, he was like very comedic relief of
Jason
the
Long.
movie. Yeah, Jason Long. He's
Yeah.
my new favorite actor.
Jason Long is Justin Long's cousin.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I still didn't go into it as hyped as like Omar made it sound. I guess that may have been the problem. Like I know,
Omar
like, he
did hype it up
very
Did he really?
crazy. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't remember.
he
him
hyped
talking
it up
about it.
crazy.
Well, I don't think you were on that episode. I think it was when you were sick.
Oh, okay.
And then we recorded and he was telling all of us about it. And I was still hyped to go watch it, but I went into this movie without seeing zero trailers. So I think that kind of helped me. Like,
I don't
I
think.
just went
And
in
the thing is,
and-
like, his hype is just because he read it on Reddit.
I think
What
he
he
was
said
more
was-
excited like about Justin Long being in the movie or something.
What he said was like, they're saying that this movie's super scary.
So
he said
they're
this is
saying
one of
that
the
this movie is
scariest
super.
movie.
So they are saying that. So he didn't even see the movie. He was just like, they're saying that they're.
He did not
Like,
watch
come
the
on,
movie, but
bro.
he
Yeah,
said
you
that
can't-
someone said that the movie was super scary. So I was like, so I'm going to sell it to my girlfriend. I'm like, yo, they said that this movie is like super scary. This is one of the best scary movies that are out there. And so I'm going into it thinking, man, this is going to be knocked right out the park. And
Yeah.
then it's like, "Meow."
I mean, it was a good movie, but
It's
again,
not
as
no
far as
mer-
scares, like jump scares, there's no jump scares on it as much as like
No,
a
But
smile.
that's
is.
why
You're
I
right.
think he went in with preconceived notions of from the
I
way
think
that
there's
Omar
one.
described it, that it was going to be a traditional horror, and it wasn't that way. Like
Yeah,
that's
but if
where
he goes
it's-
in,
yeah.
that's because he reads it on Reddit. Reddit is like, oh my god, this movie's gonna be amazing. It's so different. It's so good. You got this guy. He goes, go, boo, boo, and like it's gonna be amazing. So you gotta go see this movie. Like, no, bro, you can't be on Reddit. That's the scariest thing ever. Just and then. Like I read the script and the character says buh. That's terrifying, bro. Fucking terrifying.
You're so stupid, bro.
Like no. Like just before you go hyping anything up, watch the movie for yourself. Be like, go see it. I haven't hyped up Terrifier 2 that much to you guys, but I said go see it. Like, you make a decision. I will tell you may vomit. That's all I said about it. But outside of that, it's gonna be a great movie. I'm not gonna say it's the fucking most amazing horror movie in ever created. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Omar hyped Halloween Ends, like that's the thing. Like he reads stuff and then he's like, oh, Halloween Ends is gonna be like the worst movie ever created, which maybe to some it is, and then other people they defend it to the ends of the earth. But there's other stuff that you just have to like make a decision for yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, fucking watch a movie yourself and make your own decision. Don't go on Reddit with preconceived notions or Twitter or anything else and just fucking think it's gonna be shit without seeing the movie first.
I will say Smile did that for me, because I went in and I was like not excited about watching it, and I went in for my own opinion, even though you guys were like saying it was great. Like I was still like hesitant in my own mind, but it's just because I watched the trailer and I didn't really think it was going to be good. Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna do our ratings here, or weightings, as Jay likes to say. Jay, how many buhs do you give it?
I give it 7 buh. 7 buh.
7 buh. All right, Harold, how many buh do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 6 buh.
So he didn't even give it a buh. He gave it a buh.
That's a real sexy buh.
Yeah, it is.
Baby,
Alex, how many buh?
I give it a 6 buh.
I mean, honestly, after watching Smile, because it's different, I will say it's more of a traditional horror, and this one was a little bit different too. But I would say I'd probably still give this one like an 8.5. Like I feel like it was.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe an 8. I feel like around that range. Like I did enjoy this one a lot. So
okay, I like it.
He's giving it a couple.
He's giving it a
baby root.
Drink it.
And then for me, I'll have you guys count how many. All right, so I'll give it.
You're so stupid. You're so
dumb. Getting high.
He can't even make it.
I couldn't hold it anymore. Like a freaking bail, bro. It was like every.
Wait, so was it 7 then? Because that's where you stopped.
Yeah, you stopped at 7.
Yeah, 7.
I wasn't sure if it. Yeah. Okay.
So
I just needed to make it the 7, but every buh that kept coming out, I was just like, couldn't hold it. I'm sorry. Oh god. Oh.
Now check this out. I wanted to tell you guys this after the we gave it the scores. But did you know the Rotten Tomato score on this thing?
The weightings? What
No.
are the weightings?
It's like a 9. Is it a 93?
92% critics, 70% audience.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we got it pretty
for
close.
Barbarian.
Barbarian.
For
Yes.
Barbarian.
What did the Smile get?
Smile.
That had to be a highly weighted.
Smile was 79% critics and 78 audience.
Oh,
So like they're both right on the money right there. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Now here's the kicker here.
Uh-oh. Halloween Ends got
Terrifier 2, bro.
Terrifier
2 is at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, bro, and 85% audience.
Jeez Louise.
That's
Yeah.
that's big time.
That's all.
I mean, people People want blood and gore, I guess.
Yeah, people want blood and gore, dude.
People don't know what they're getting into with this movie.
I think they're
I'm
just
excited.
more. I think they're more just taking people's reactions to watching it and basing their score off of people vomiting and passing out in theater. It's kind of it's just like Black Adam. You know, people are vomiting and passing out.
Oh yeah, I heard about that Black Adam too.
And they're just ejaculating their pants.
No.
And then everyone around
if you're
them.
Jay and Omar, you're ejaculating all over the place.
You guys are so stupid. Just like you said, before you knock it, go and watch the damn movie and stop being freaking haters, freaking idiots.
I'm already gonna tell you one thing, Jay, about this. Like before I even watch it, I already heard that if you like Aquaman, that you're gonna love this movie.
Oh,
which
Jay
I
loved
hated
Aquaman.
So
I did like Aquaman. I did.
Yeah, my mom. Yeah.
Not only because of my mom.
No, you did.
I liked the movie. The movie, I liked it.
Trash.
It's all action with no storyline.
It had a storyline.
No substance.
It had substance. It had a storyline.
All right, so I'm gonna Jay, shut up.
It had lights. It had a camera. It had the rock.
So we're wrapping up. This is gonna be our last Halloween episode, our double feature, how I like to say. So thank you guys for watching all the stuff with me and appreciating.
Watch Black Adam.
No.
Are we not doing a Terrifier 2 thing?
Maybe it'll probably be part of November. But I did want to ask, because we've been watching a lot of movies. We haven't really given any TV love. Have you guys watched anything scary recently, like on TV? Any TV shows that you were really into, whether it was Netflix or Hulu, anything of that?
I haven't watched anything personally scary.
Mhm.
My wife was watching that the show on Netflix. What is it called? The Watchers or something? The Watcher.
I heard that's really good,
dude. She raves about it, and everyone at my job is talking about it.
That's on what?
I'm gonna have. It's on Netflix. It's called
Netflix.
The Watcher. Yeah, The
Okay.
Watcher, I think. So people are raving about that show, and they say it's freaky.
The Watchers on Netflix. Harold, have you seen anything TV wise that you would recommend?
The only thing that I've seen as of right now that I finished watching She-Hulk, and then I just finished watching.
Oh, that's a big horror movie. Yeah. That's a big horror show.
Oh, you're talking about horror movies?
Horror shows, yes. Yeah.
No. I haven't seen anything.
She-Hulk is up there.
She-Hulk is horror. That's a horror movie.
Well,
yeah, we'll definitely. I got to put that on the list here, so you guys catch up on that, and then we'll talk about it. Alex, any scary shows you've been watching that you may want to recommend?
I honestly haven't really. I've been watching a lot of other stuff like Game of Thrones. I just finished.
Yeah.
What's it called? Atlanta. I've been watching, and I just started American Horror Story, but it's not. This season's not really like a horror, I guess.
I think I just saw the first episode and wasn't scary. It's interesting. It's a good story.
But it's not horror. It's basically like focusing on this guy that's like murdering like gays and people and stuff
in
like
New York.
that.
Yeah.
So it's like an interesting story, but
I think it'll probably get
scary,
interesting
like
in a couple episodes. So, I will go ahead and recommend a show too. I know Jay said to watch it on Netflix. Another one on Netflix that I just finished up. Actually, at the recommendation of Omar, even though I did want to see it anyways, like before he said anything to me, was Midnight Mass. That's on Netflix. It's made by
I just had somebody recommend that to me too.
Yeah, actually. Mike Flanagan, who did was it Haunting of Hill House? Haunting of Hill House. And Haunting of Bly Manor. And then Midnight Mass was his next thing, which is phenomenal. If you're squeamish about like religious stuff, then maybe give it a pass. But amazing, just story.
The power of Christ compels you.
No, not exorcist stuff. More like if angels weren't as angelic as they were, and then like priest as well. It's like has to do with the Catholic Church.
Well, I mean, technically, angels. There are good and bad angels. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it was really good. It took a couple episodes to get into it, but I would highly recommend that one.
Satan was an angel before he turned.
The next one I would also say, well, I'm gonna give a watch soon. Probably by the end of this weekend is gonna be The Midnight Club. That's also by Mike Flanagan. It also stars Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street, the one who first played Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street. So same actress. She's in this one as like a doctor or something like that. But it's called The Midnight Club, also on Netflix, made by the same guy. I think they're calling it the Flanagan universe or something like that. Flaniverse. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It's a multiverse thing.
It's a multiverse thing, yeah. So just so just if you look up all his stuff, it'll have a whole collection of his shows on there. So give it a, if you want to see some cool horror stuff, I would also recommend, I know they came out maybe last year, was the Fear Street series as well, like Fear Street 1984, 1966, or 666, I don't know what it is, 1970 something. Jay, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's actually just 3 movies. They're about an hour and a half each on that, and they all connect to each other. So the first one starts with like a slasher, like 80s, in the 80s. The next one starts in like the 70s, kind of like Jason Voorhees, Crystal Lake stuff. Then the last one actually goes back to like I don't know, like Coven times, I would say, like witches, but also connects. They like all 3 of them connect to each other in a way that was really good. It's on Netflix as well. So it's called Fear Street. Just a Fear Street trilogy, yeah. So yeah, there you go.
I feel like I've been watching so many movies lately that I just haven't had time for TV.
Yeah.
But I want to get into these shows, though. I'm definitely going to add them to my list of because now that Game of Thrones is over, now I have
I'm still catching up on Better Call Saul.
Oh, that's going to be a while for you, bro.
Yeah. Dude, but it's so good. The show's so good.
All right, Jay, you want to take us out?
All right, fellas.
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.